Well, Pez, that is one of the weirdest endings from Ashes I've ever seen. Obviously, we get all the vibes and the happiness from one side, but there'd be Aussies that it's 4:30 in the morning that have stayed up all night because it was the hope in your heart, and it's obviously the hope, and as we know, the cholesterol that will kill you in the end. But Aussies right now be littered around Europe, having their European sojourns, tanning on the beaches of Barcelona, Portugal, other places that are warm at the moment, China. Just watching on an iPad or some sort of dodgy screen or a dodgy stream somewhere, just thinking like, can Alex Carey and Todd Murphy take it home for us? So in that respect, England have won the Ashes 2.90. 2.92, fuck off. Because that has ruined many Australians' days across the world because we thought that it was going to be close and it really wasn't in the end.
Yeah, like I'm confused, Higgins, really, because like I listened to the captains at the end of the day. And they said 2-2 is a fair reflection. It seems the players are pretty cool with it, you know? Maybe they're just saying it publicly, but like 2-2, yeah, I'll take it. Normal adult humans who exist in most of their lives in real, like sort of physical, tangible form, not online discourse form, and they just go 2-2, yep, pretty good. Couple of beers now, I'm an adult. Yeah. And then I also have, and I tend to agree with them. And I'm like, that's fine. That's good. And I have some arguments to back it up. And then you got the online discourse side of you, you know, and I'm reminded of a comment at my like kids' daycare where they've obviously been given food or whatever. And the line from the teachers is, you know, you get what you get and you don't get upset. And I think, fuck daycare, you know? They changed the
I
ball.
want it all, and I want it now.
Yeah. We woke up this morning. We dared to dream like the little cucks we are. And,
fucking idiots.
Yeah, fucking
Stupid.
idiots. A lot of people
Stupid
man, you know. And I'm like, mate, I'm watching the TV, and I'm like, at the start, I'm like, I start laughing like fucking the most gallows humor laugh for an hour. Like at every like I'm adjusting the color saturation of my TV. Everything is darker. This morning the broodier, the floodlights on, the ball's arrowing away from the left-handed bat. Every ball's on the money. There's 3 slips and a leg slip waiting, you know, and then you're getting that English shit where like there's that infinitesimal moment between the moment where like a well-pitched delivery actually hits the ground, causes the Aussie batters to wait because they're not sure what to do. Time seems to stop as we watch it, you know, shape or nip, then receive the expectant yell or cry or full-throated appeal from England. And then you got Ponting on comms. He didn't last long on comms, but he made 1 point. And then I'm on Twitter and Glenn Maxwell's going, beware the second Newey. It's just that it came at 38 overs. But you know what? Philosophically, it was final boss territory. How is it going to be anything different on day 5 as Australia chased history? You know, like all the, not that it wasn't England's trick. I'm pretty sure Joel Wilson had his glasses on. He thought it was the same ball. You know what I mean? It's just
how dark are those glasses, Joel?
It's a trick of the eyes. He had his own, with his glasses, color saturation going on there, and all of a sudden there's a 38 over old ball with gold writing on it. and I liked was how when Butch got on comms. He immediately, in the most brilliantly British way, you know, the way that, you know, Mike Brearley talks about, the Brits' brilliant ability to be underhanded and dismissive. He immediately started saying Ponting's having thrombosis in the rooms, in the comm box, and all sorts of conspiracy theories are going to abound now about what's happened. And then Athers is like, well, it has changed. But you know,
I could see gold writing in the King's English, perfectly presented.
I don't know. I think in the context of, you know, the whole series, like it's very, very funny. If you're England, you know, that's funny. That's good.
There's just been so many peaks and troughs. So like one team gets all the luck, and then the other team's like so unfortunate, and just like how quickly like you get like what goes around comes around in the series. It's just been like, well, of course it was gonna be a new thing. It's fine. It just is what it is. But like it's it was hilarious from someone that didn't have to face it. So I mean, we're talking about sort of the first thing here, which in the match itself, which is new ball, new tricks. I was watching. I was just the last couple of days. I've just been fed a couple of things on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
After I've searched the specific terms, but there's this guy called Paul Rosalie, I think his name is. He's been going around on the American podcast circuit. He's been like on Rogan and Lex Fridman's podcast, and he's this really fascinating guy where he spends long periods of time in the Amazon. Dealing with sort of remote and isolated Amazonian tribes. He's got these amazing stories of dealing with panthers and anteaters and anacondas and all these wild stories. And I was in my car before and I was just driving outside my apartment. I was just seeing fuck, what a crazy life existence that is. And as I was pulling out of the driveway, I saw a brand new graffiti tag on a fence across the road, and it just said sluts. And I was just thinking, yeah, okay, there's lots of different people in the universe, and depending on which side of the fence you sit on, that ball was either sluts or Paul Rosalie. So it was real sort of, it was real light and shade, that kind of human existence. I was just so deep in my head, just wow, it'd be so fascinating to see all those things, those crazy experiences. Sluts. And sluts with a Z as well, not even an S. Anyway, as obviously we're all online guys. It could have been, of course,
a good striker for South Melbourne.
the Hungarian philosopher Sluts. But of course, when you're an online guy, and obviously we support one team sometimes. And other people support other teams, but when you make a comment on something that is fortuitous for the other team, you're rattled. What about then you get in some whataboutisms and what ifs, and you can't really win. But I mean, fuck me, when it started to go around corners, and I was like, it's so hard.
Yeah,
it's hard. So hard to win away from home. Fuck me,
it's hard. Yeah. But then I don't know about you, but then when Smith and Head got going towards the end of the session, did you? I don't know about you. Did you start to chub again? Did you chub a bit?
Yeah.
But privately, just whoa, am I getting a little chub on?
Well, when they went off at lunch and they needed 146 to win, I was like, god damn it!
I'm looking at it.
That's close enough, isn't it?
An involuntary chubbing. I don't want to chub. Put it away.
It's going to be close. And then I'll start bargaining because I know Todd Murphy's going to need to score the best 60 night out from number 10 you've ever seen. I just know that was going to happen. I was like, god damn it, I'm back. Yeah. I'm back in. I'm invested again.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the second thing. I'll just sort of wrap up a few different things with England's performance. So it really was, Chris Wokes and Moeen Ali were just fantastic today. Wokes ends up being player of the series for England, having only played 3 test matches, 19 wickets for the series, 19 wickets in 3 test matches, incredible. Moeen Ali obviously retired and had a significant role to play with bat and ball in the games that he did play. But it really was a day about Stuart Broad at the end. It just was that, and it was just perfect. And now that he doesn't play anymore, I'm so appreciative of everything he's given the game of cricket and Test cricket over the years. Just wonderful performances, and it's so important to have villains for the other team, and he has been that guy for Australians, obviously. But I mean, just to the left-handers with that with that ball, fuck, what a cricketer, man! What a player, what a cricketer! 604 Test wickets, every single one of those is against Australia. It's pained me ever since he's worn the headband. He's become a bowler that averages 12. And you know what? Fair fucks. He was sensational in this series. Played all 6 test matches this summer, including the Ireland game. And was just relentless. And he gets his moment in the sun, and rightfully so, because he has just been such a huge contributor to Ashes series, particularly in England. For the England team. So, fair play. Fair play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's so many angles you can take with Stuart Broad as well. Like, you can go down the whole Stuart Broad is a vibe, Stuart Broad is a feeling side of things. You can go down the whole, like, the guy is a warhorse. He's a Lionheart. He's played 167 test matches. You know, it's one fewer than Steve Waugh and Ricky Ponting. That's as a fast bowler. You just can't fake that. There's no faking in that. 167 games for his country, 600 wickets. 150, the highest ever Ashes wicket taker, right? And he did have spells against other teams as well. And you're right. I mean, he's taken 1,200 wickets against Australia, but six for it. The Wanderers against South Africa as well. He's a World Cup winner. So I mean, the CV is incredible. He's got a Test 100, unbelievable. So the thing I admire most about Stuart Broad, though, as a sportsman, is that or a sports person, is that, like, it's when he rises. It was when he came to the fore in a game. For me, like, I over-index massively on the moments where you see class rise to the top, and invariably with Stuart Broad, he bowled his best when England needed him, and so he got better as a situation got harder in cricket. Even his sort of well documented struggles with facing fast bowling after he got hit made me admire his innings at Lords, for example. Although it was carry on deluxe, it was pantomime stuff. But the courage he showed there facing Aussie quicks at that time to stick with Ben Stokes, just little things like that. He got himself up in really tough moments. So I thought as a sportsman he was just sensational. And then as for the carry on, one thing that I appreciate about it is that, like, as the whole cricket world is going, professional white ball, please, Daddy Saudi Arabia, come to us with your coins and your gallons of oil that you own. Stuart Broad has just been like archetypal red ball Ashes stuff. He's lived for the stuff that we loved as kids, and even though there was carry on deluxe, it all came from a place of actually caring about it. So it's as you say, all you can really say, to use the words of the King's English, is fair fucks to the guy.
and then what about Wood was obviously not fit at all. He had a bruised heel. He still ran in for his captain, but it really was Wokes' day. I mean, Stuart Broad gets but what about with Stuart Broad, like at the end where Murphy was putting on a few runs with Carey and it was like, now I'm back invested. Now it's only down to 55, and then, like, he beats the bat a couple of times, then he does, like, the pantomime thing, then he, like, flips the bails again at the bowler's end, people start laughing, next ball gets to the edge, and I was like, fuck off.
I was laughing. That was so funny.
That's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I mean, I didn't even... Were you even, like, aware of the existence of the bail touching thing?
Never heard of it before.
More than 48 hours ago?
No, never heard of it before.
He invented a new thing that's part of the story. You can add that into the nicking to slip thing. Okay, it came off Haddon's leg. He was going to slip anyway, which was just really funny. All of the the Void the Series stuff, the Nighthawk stuff. Shout out to people who came to the live show. It's interesting. You seem to retire that joke, but nevertheless, and now the touching the bails shit or whatever. And, he jagged England a draw or some shit at the Oval at the end. So that's just a game of cricket. What a game. What a sport.
Well, to that end, Pez, talking about the final thing, and that's Australia will have to wait another 4 years to get their chance to...
this shit now. Now we're talking.
To win an away series. They obviously came close in 2019. They came very close this time. In fact, they came closer, really, because obviously they were 2-0 up, and then they had chances at Headingley. They were smashed in Manchester, no question about that. And they had chances here as well, just in a couple of times. They won the toss. Harry Brook makes 85 in the first innings here. Carey drops him on 5, was it, or less than 10, or whatever it was. England make 280. Probably that was probably a really good score. It was a winning score in there because they've won the game. But and then they have 135 for none going into the final day, needing 250 to win with 10 in hand and 450 short. So they've been bowled out for 200 in the final day. It's so close, and I think that will really hurt this Australian team for a long time. I mean, a lot of them are about to retire. Well, we're recording this without knowing if anyone has retired from the Australian team, if that's a thing that's happened. But They won't get another chance. And the next time Australia goes to the UK in 2027, when there's 94 games in the IPL that year, and Major League Cricket goes for 9 months. By the way, I want to talk about New York. Hell of a team. But it'll just be a much more inexperienced side. It's very hard to win anyway. Obviously, England will have a completely different bowling lineup as well, but they will have players that grew up in England and play well in England with the Duke, and Australia will not have that kind of experience. So I'm going to guess that it's going to be another little while before Australia is in a position to challenge England properly in England, and who knows what Test cricket even fucking looks like the next time they're there, let alone the next time they're ready to compete. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, thoughts. My thoughts are that there will be a huge push in the Australian media to conceive of this tour as, the one that got away, and it will dwell on mistakes. Where the premise will be, were those mistakes not to happen, Australia would have won the series 3-1 or 3-2 or some shit like that. Once you open that Pandora's box, you can throw so many other pieces of shit into it from both teams. England could extremely reasonably argue that there were several things they did that might have resulted in them winning the series 4-0. It's just how it happens. It's unpopular. I think 2-2 is something Australia can be proud of. I think England are a good side. These are all things that aren't popular to say. I just think it was a clash of styles, clash of cultures, a clash of ideologies. England versus Australia, Bazball versus Cumball, spirit of cricket, morality, young bucks, old war horses. Both teams were sensational. Both teams were shithouse. Bigger question is, can Solar Panel Pat be the first Australian captain jailed for retaining the urn 2-2?
And I think the most likely answer to that is yes, Kent. Yes, I do. I suppose Cummins might be the only one of the bowl. Well, Lyon maybe, but I'd be surprised if Stark and Hazelwood or Boland obviously not as well. But how do you see it? Because how I see it personally is England haven't held the Ashes by the time they get a next chance for 10 years. So that's pretty good, but our standards remain in 1999, where Australia never loses any game of cricket ever. And so that's the expectation. That's the level that any Australian team in my lifetime must reach for me to be in any way satisfied. So, whilst I think that they've done pretty bloody well to win 2 games away from home in the World Test Championship final in the last 2 months, I am still a bit but when I was 13, we had a better team.
Yeah, but don't you said yourself, I said it as well, literally on the rooftop of some Melbourne pub or other in Richmond after Scott Boland took 6 for at the MCG. At that moment in time, when Dawid Malan was batting 3 and Haseeb Hameed and Rory Burns were opening the batting for England, and they were completely hapless. Broad and Anderson looked like they were completely pissed off with Joe Root. We were sitting on that roof, Schindler's List, to be fair, and both of us nodded and just said England will probably win the next series in England. That was then.
Yeah.
England do win. In England, they're very, very difficult to beat. So I think 2-2 is good. As for next time, who the fuck knows? Yeah, England's tough. But to your earlier point, Test cricket has never been has never undergone so much change as it's undergoing now, and I think that change is, speeding or increasing exponentially. So in 4 years' time, will the complexion of Test cricket be such that the opportunities to win overseas actually increase? I don't know. I mean, I think it leads me not to really want to an hour after the series finishes, start predicting the next one, because I feel like there is a certain poignancy to this series. It's been a series that I've enjoyed immensely. I think comparisons as though 5 are moot and silly anyway. It was just a different time. I just think it was really good. I think it's very rare to experience 2 countries, and also a lot of other countries as well, firmly fixed on one format of the game being played at a really high at a really high level, and so yeah, I'm probably a bit wistful about it. Really, I'm probably cucking myself by saying I think 2-2 was good. Both teams took their chances. Both teams fucked it up. That's just cricket telling you never to expect a dream. You need to get on your knees while Mother Cricket slaps you fucking silly for even thinking that anything good is ever going to happen in the game of cricket, and also kind of like marvel at the power of Mother Cricket, which in itself is a cuck term I learnt from Tim Bresnan. I mean, it's just fucking cucks at 10 paces. This whole game, everything is. It's fucking 4:52. I can't even think. I got a headache. What is this? We're all just little Rubik's Cube autist nonces under a cover going, look at this little game we're playing. No one cares, mate. 2-2. Well done, everyone. That's my thoughts.
So, just to round off the crow's feet segment for this series, which will probably live on for a little while, but we did invent it for the Ashes. Just on that thought, sometimes I watch like the purity of someone batting, like maybe a Steve Smith cover drive, or whip off the pads or whatever, and I'm just thinking, oh, great shot, and then I see like a grown man standing up and like signaling four, and doing like so it's doing like sort of spirit fingers at the end, and I'm like, I'm not cool. None of us are cool.
Oh, mate, did you also... I don't know if you've noticed this, because people keep mentioning this in the comments. Apparently, we don't know what nonce actually means. We need to look it up. Have you actually looked up what it means?
No.
Yeah, no, it's really... It's no good, mate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right, okay. I won't search that from my personal computer, but yeah, maybe go to the public library and have a look at it. Hey, hashtag AskTGC, Pezza, Samuel Domazatovsky wrote in on Patreon. He said, I enjoyed this more when we were 0 for 140. This isn't fun anymore. Why did I stay up? Why did I have hope? Why did I believe? 2-2, fuck off. Tilly's into the round of 16 is cool though. Might go watch the Who Do You Think You Are? I Am video. That always cheers me up. And that's how I want to finish this general Ashes series, Pez. What is happiness? Cricket is not happiness in any way. I think this is one of this series in my lifetime. I've rarely been more engaged in the cricket, staying up every night to watch every single ball, living and breathing and dying by the sword, stuck into my chest every time Stuart Broad runs in. And I was thinking, I'm really, really enjoying this, except I'm not. And I'm so relieved that it's over. And I'm so relieved that my team hasn't lost, because I don't know if I could have handled emotionally what would have happened if England won, even though like they've played some scintillating, stunning, brave cricket, and many times they've played all the cricket. So, what is happiness? I don't think it's this, but have you had a good time, Pezza?
I have had a good time, Higgins. I really have, and I already feel the sledging of myself coming on as I say that earnestly as a man. I'm absolutely cooked. Don't get me wrong. At 4:54 a.m. as we've done this, but it's been a very fulfilling and satisfying project and thing to do. Not even just from a work perspective, but just the opportunity to just immerse in Test cricket for the amount of time that we have, and to be really engaged in what England has been trying to do, which I think other teams will start to copy, and to watch Australia pursue something that is very connected to our own, national expectations and how they struggle with that. Our expectations of our national teams are so high in Australia, especially in cricket. It bothers me that because of how good Steve Ward's team was, nothing will ever be good again until that height is reached. The echoes of the past still influence what we see this time around. I think there's something kind of cool about the fact that Pat Cummins didn't raise the urn above, teeth level. In kind of acknowledgement that they didn't really do it, he didn't get it up and above his head like that was, and then I just think the heights are really important there. So yeah, and then just in terms of the project that we've done, I think the first thanks has to go to has to go to everybody who's watched and tuned in and given us encouragement. Thank you to those who've sledged us as well, and thanks to all the futurists who always seem to know what's going to happen next when we don't, and let us know in the comments as well. But no, like, enormous thanks to everybody who came to watch us, both on YouTube or in the podcasts and at our live shows, and to all the people who joined Patreon as well. That gives us like tremendous confidence that this is something that, you know, helps people's enjoyment of the game. And then massive thanks, here goes, I think we have to say to Budgy Smuggler, who once again got behind TGC to make all of these things happen. You know, without Budgy Smuggler, we don't travel overseas. Without Budgy Smuggler, we can't invest the time to do what we're doing, and they just give us free reign to crack on. And so, you know, anyone who wants to get behind Budgy Smuggler, a great Australian brand who've built it from the ground up. I watched it being built from the ground up. I think Linny actually was doing the job while he was at the old job, to be fair, but nevertheless, you know, what a success story. We just couldn't be more thankful to them. You know, what about other memories? He goes, BBC, getting involved with them. You know, then some other stuff that we'll share on the podcast we're going to do later today, a full wrap of it. And yeah, I mean, my finish, he goes, is I just want to read out the Twitter trends before I joined this call, which is Ashes, cheats, spirit of cricket, and flog, which I think kind of sums it up. You're the anchor, so you can have the final say here, but I just want to finish by saying 2-2, now we can both fuck off.
That is the perfect summation. As you said, Pezza, the main podcast is coming out later today, where we're doing a full preview of the 100.
Happy 100 Eve.
Because cricket is non-stop. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to you, Pezza, for your love and support and friendship throughout these past 8 weeks, because we've needed it. We've needed one another dearly. We'll see you guys on the internet real soon. Cheers.